Well, I admire what you do, Alex, and you do it so well. You do it better than anybody else I know because you speak with it this intensity. People have to understand, as Alex said, first of all, the H1N1 infection, swine flu, is a very mild disease. In fact, in the initial study that they did over in Australia, where they actually, this is the study published in New England Journal of Medicine on the 10th of September, and this is the vaccine trial that they're using to justify using the vaccine in the United States. Only they tested an entirely different vaccine in Australia, the one that had the adjuvant in it, the squalene adjuvant. But what was really so interesting about the study, although they didn't play it up, was that they got all these people recruited. They wanted to get the study done as quickly as they could, so they tested all of them ahead of time to see if they had antibodies to the infection, to the swine flu infection, because of course they wanted, they figured probably one or two of them would have. They found that 14% of one group already been infected, and 39% of another group had already been infected. In other words, they were already immune to the disease, and if all they could accomplish by giving them, the vaccine was going to boost their immunity to the disease they were already immune to. Most of the people in the United States have had this disease already, but they can't let them know. They got 195 million doses of the vaccine.
Stay there. Got a break. We're going to talk to Mike in Mass, Chris in Maryland, Dan in the Philippines. We'll go to Dan here in just a moment for the next two segments, and I'm going to get into a host of other issues in the next hour. What Dr. Monteith keeps trying to point out here while I'm interrupting is just so many facets that are popping into my mind here, is what I've already read in the mainstream news. It's admitted that upwards of 30% of people where they test for the antibodies already have it in many nations. It's very mild. So what is this all about? Well, if they want to have a scare, they have to monger for months. And so clearly this is a way to just sell vaccines, set the precedent to make people take them, and get everybody into this medicalized tyranny. Dr. Monteith.
Well, I've never seen in all the 47 years I've been at this such a dramatic, coordinated campaign by every means of communication to convince us we've got to take this H1N1 vaccine. So obviously for anybody out there in the listening audience, you can realize the control they have. They control literally almost every major media outlet in the United States. I mean, why would they be talking about this? This is such a mild disease that, as Alex says, most people don't even know they've had the disease. In the study which they used to justify giving the vaccine, in one group, 39% didn't even know they had the illness, and yet they already had antibodies to it and were immune to it. And certainly by the time they get around to giving the vaccine, the majority of people will have had the illness, and it's not going to be a problem. So obviously there's another agenda.
It's a giant hoax, and that other agenda is clearly eugenics. And you have the internal CDC report admitting it's going to cause and has caused in the past similar vaccines, neurological disorders. Let's talk to Dan in the Philippines. You're on the air with Dr. Stan Monteith. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Hello. Just wanted to let I just wanted to call the audience know about a new, or not new. It's a tools on the internet to, when they talk to their friends, if everyone says they're connected, they say how. There's some things out there called nndb.com, like no name database, or however you want to say it, nndb.com, and muckety.com, muckety.com. And they provide a vast resources of how everyone is connected. I only can hear, previous days of your shows because I get them from when it's the day after. But when I was hearing about Partnership for New York, it's the most diabolical partnership I've ever seen. Rockefeller, Carbis, crazy people connected in there. You can see.
Yeah, for folks that don't know, Dr. Horowitz has filed an affidavit with the FBI showing a criminal racketeering conspiracy with the Partnership for New York and the Rockefellers behind this whole inoculation hoax. I appreciate your call. Dr. Monteith, the Rockefellers, eugenics, every time we turn over some evil rock, the Rockefellers are under it.
They certainly are. And first, they've been at it for better part of a century, and it goes all the way back first to old John D. and then his son. And these people, at the beginning of the 20th century, in the early 1900s, were already funding the laboratory at Cold Harbor. It was busy creating new diseases at that time. They always have wanted to eliminate the majority of the people in the world. And, of course, basically all one has to do is read the scriptures and find out, the rider of the pale horse is going to kill a quarter of the population of the world. I have the writings of Barbara Marx Hubbard, who is deeply involved in Luciferianism, who wrote a book called The Revelation, the Book of Co-Creation. She didn't write it. It was channeled to her by a demonic spirit, which she said, we're going to kill a quarter of the population of the world, but that is not your job. That is ours, my dear, because we are the riders of the pale horse death.
And then they have the Earth First Battalion in the military. They've got a whitewash coming out, Men Who Stare at Goats, with George Clooney about it. We'll be right back in 1 minute with more calls. Dr. Stan Monteith. I'm Alex Jones. Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're here live. I'm going to break down, coming up, our maximum alert dealing with the troops being deployed all over the United States, what's happening with the flu, your calls, and a lot more. Dr. Stan Monteith of RadioLiberty.com is our guest. A lot of great books and videos, materials available at RadioLiberty.com. We're very thankful for him joining us. I want to get him back up about eugenics in the near future. In fact, Doc, I keep meaning to come out and interview you for a new eugenics film I'm working on. So we need to set that up. I'm also interviewing Dr. Blaylock for it. Let's talk to Mike in Mass. Mike, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. Hi, Doc. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
That's good. I'm a nursing student in Massachusetts, and I brought up to my dean the first day of classes the Massachusetts Bill 2028 about the forced inoculations. And she told me that, she advised me that it'd be wise if I didn't tell the other students about this bill and the effects of it.
Yeah, well, they have the bill to come in your home and forcibly take your children and inoculate you. That's on mainstream news, and you're not supposed to talk about it, though, because in America you're not allowed to?
Exactly, but I took the liberty upon myself to take the video that was posted on your site with the judge yesterday, and I went on Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, all those globalism websites, and used it against them and started spreading the word. And I call all Massachusetts residents to do the same. We have to use this technology.
But hold on, who told you you're not supposed to talk to people?
The dean of my department of the nursing program.
And you're just not in America. You can't talk about what's on the news or what's being debated in the newspaper. That's the new freedom.
That's the freedom, but I went against her orders, as a true patriot does.
I mean, who are, Dr. Monteith, who are all these people that just gleefully serve evil?
Well, unfortunately, a lot of them just want to go along and get along. But they think that, well, if they just go along and this is not going to affect them, they don't understand that if they serve these evil forces, eventually they themselves will be destroyed. And I saw Germany. I was a military officer, medical officer, and I was in Germany after the Second World War. I saw their cities in rubble. I mean, total destruction of many of the major cities over there because the good people did nothing. And that old adage is so true, all that's necessary for evil to triumph is the good people do nothing. But we have to be involved, and we have to be involved now. And there is a growing awareness across the country. I know you sense it, and I sense it, and the people who are on the front lines of this what's going on sense it. And I think a lot of people in the medical profession are up in arms. And if they'll just stand together and just say, we're not going to do it. I will tell you, since I am in the medical profession, I get all sorts of things from various government agencies, and they're putting on special seminars. How are we going to convince the people who are healthcare workers to take this vaccine because they don't want to take it? How are we going to get them to do something they don't want to do? Here's what you do, and they lay out a whole plan for them.
Well, Doctor, hold on. You said you could stay. Can you do one more long segment to finish up telling us about that, and then take some more calls? Okay. Because, again, I see this more and more as we're winning. People are waking up to vaccines, so they're trying through fear to push it on us. I see this almost as a failing forward or fleeing forward? Doctor?